everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, please click the subscribe button and turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm, and today I'm talking to you about facts, interpretation, and meaning. Understanding this concept is one of the easiest ways to start shifting your life into an acceleration mode, heading in the direction that you want it to be headed in. When we have an event, anything could happen to us. A good thing, what we say is a good thing, a bad thing, what we say is a bad thing, or a neutral thing, what we call a neutral thing. That situation, that circumstance, that event is simply just a fact. It has no meaning until we've applied a meaning to it. The way that we interpret whatever has happened to us as good, as bad, as neutral, as unjust, as unfair, whatever we have interpreted it to be now holds that meaning. That event will now hold that meaning. When we start putting more and more meanings on different events that have happened to us, so this event happens, we place a meaning to it. This event happens or doesn't happen, we place a meaning on that. The sum of all of these meanings impact our identity. They impact the way that we see ourselves, the way that we see our potential, the way we see our future, the way that we see the people that are around us, our jobs, our churches, our communities at large. So once we've interpreted all of these facts and have applied all of these meanings to them, it makes it really difficult for us to shift out of thinking that certain type of way or responding that certain type of way. And it gives us more of what we have already gotten, even if we are confessing that's not what I want. I want to be going in a different direction. I want to do something different. But because we have applied all of these meanings to these past events, our present, our current events, and our future events are going to continue to have that same meaning until we have gone back and looked at the meaning we have put on other events. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Take a person who is trying to lose weight or has tried to lose weight in the past, but let's say they didn't hit that goal. So they took this event. I dieted. So I changed up the way that I was eating. I started incorporating more exercise into my life. I maybe even joined a gym or joined some sort of exercise group. Okay, they did that, but they didn't hit their goal. They didn't lose as much weight or the weight that they wanted to, or they lost some weight, but it came back because some other event happened. They've applied a meaning to that event. Now, when they go to lose weight, without consciously thinking about it, they've already decided, I failed at this before. I'm probably not going to lose weight now, but I'm going to try it again. When we do that, we don't actually go back and analyze why those things happen, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in just a second. What we do, we've unconsciously, non-consciously assigned a meaning, assigned an interpretation to that event. It was stressful. I didn't get the results I wanted. I was a failure. Any of these things impact not just how we view that event now. When I try to lose weight again, I'm gonna non-consciously be having these same beliefs, these same meanings tethered to the past event around that same situation. But it's also impacted my identity. I can't reach goals, so I might as well not set them. I have a problem with controlling my own life. Maybe I'll control other people's lives. All of those things impact the way that we do life, okay? And when we can take a step back and understand, hey, this was a really important event, and whether I wanted this thing to happen, whether I was responsible for this thing happening to me or not, I am responsible for how I respond. I am responsible for how I respond. And I need to take authority and control over the meaning, the interpretation I'm putting on that event. Okay, this is This is why I have a problem when people say my marriage failed. The marriage failed only if that is the meaning and the interpretation that you want to put on that situation. If you put a different meaning on that situation, there will be a different way that you look at it, and also how you respond to not only your past marriage, but also your future if you want to get married again. These things impact huge decisions that we are making without ever recognizing, hey, there's a reason why I think a certain type of way about this certain type of event, this certain type of circumstance, whatever it may be. So when it comes to analyzing the meanings that you've put on a certain type of fact, just something that has happened to you, something that you wanted to have happen but didn't happen, some situation that was very impactful to you because you've assigned a meaning to it, but you don't want it to hold that type of power over you anymore. Go back to before the circumstance, the event, the situation, the words, whatever was said to you, whatever the event was, whatever the fact is, go back and take a look at the steps leading up to that. I'm going to use the same example that I was just using about somebody who's trying to lose weight. Did they have their blood tested to make sure that there wasn't a biological reason why they, number one, are at the weight that they're at, or number two, that would inhibit them from losing weight the normal way? So did we do that? Because if we keep repeating the cycle, we're going to get the same results. And not to mention the fact that our mindset's going to be the same going into it. I can't lose weight. I'm a failure at this. I've tried it before. Nothing ever works for me. So if I don't go back and say, hey, did I do that? Did I hire a trainer? How serious was I about this? Were there other events going on that were interfering with my plan to lose weight? Was my spouse on board with me losing weight? Whatever the circumstances were around that fact, you need to go back and look at those things. That's how you make a positive change the next time that you face that circumstance, that situation. Those things are said to you again, whatever the case may be. I presented this fact, interpretation, meaning scenario from a normal person's perspective, right? An average person will look and say, you know what, my parents, they didn't want to spend time with me when I was a child. Therefore, I think that I actually do feel unloved. I try to push people away so that they don't get close to me because I'm going to want something that they're not going to want to give me. I'm going to want to spend time with them and they're not going to want to spend time with me. I'm going to want this to progress into a certain type of relationship and they're not going to want that relationship with me. Without knowing it, these things have impacted the way that you view the world, the way that you view yourself, and the way that you view your potential, your future. What about from another perspective? When a narcissist, I've said this before, the least amount of abuse you're ever going to endure from a narcissist, you're enduring today. That will be the least amount because they must have more, which will require them to increase their tactics and increase the amount of control that they assert over a situation. So today, whatever level you're experiencing with a narcissist is going to be the least amount. Why? Because they learn. They get better at their craft. They are getting better at not only how to control a supply, how to maintain a supply, but also on how to recruit and use flying monkeys. So in this scenario, there's a fact. The narcissist has assigned an interpretation and a meaning into that fact, likes the result that they're getting, and they're going to continue to use it. When I talk to you guys about the narcissist continuing to abuse you, even after you're out of the situation, even after you've physically ended the relationship, you've gone no contact, you've moved away even, the narcissist can still be abusing you because you are assigning the way that the narcissist has looked at that fact, assigned the interpretation, assigned the meaning to that fact in the same light. The narcissist is telling you nobody's ever going to love you. No one else is ever going to do this for you. You're never going to find somebody like me. Hopefully not, right? But nonetheless, we have assigned that fact, those words, as truth. We've assigned them a value. We've assigned them a meaning in our lives. we are partnering with the very same mindset that was abusing us when we were physically with the narcissist is still with us. We never broke free from that. This is why being able to understand whenever there is something significant happening to you, even if in the moment you don't think it's that significant, pay attention to the interpretation or the meaning that you're putting on it. Could it have been that when you tried to lose weight the last time, you didn't have your spouse's support? You were not feeling um, uh, up to par in your body. Maybe you had a cold or something like that was happening inside your body. Maybe you only stuck with it for 2 weeks. Maybe you didn't actually understand the way that you should be structuring your food plans, your meal plans, how to prep for your meals in advance. Maybe you didn't understand exactly the chemicals that were going on in your blood at the time. There could be a bunch of different things. And so maybe instead of saying, I always fail, I've tried this before, it didn't work out, the meaning, the interpretation of that is, hey, I didn't have all of the information that I needed to get the result that I wanted the last time. This time, I went back and analyzed all of those steps, and I'm doing something different, so I will have this outcome. I will meet my goal this time. How do I know I'm going to meet my goal this time? Because I've also taken other events that I've done. I've met my goal over here. I was able to achieve this over here. People told me that I wouldn't be able to get X over here, and I did it in a month. Whatever. You've gone back and you've given yourself reference points showing you that you are fully capable of reaching your goals, of setting up the structure of your life to continue to progress that way. The easiest way to get untangled and unhooked from a false belief, from a past situation that is still lingering over you, is to change the way that you are interpreting it and to change the value of the meaning that you are assigning to it. I have a podcast where I talk about affirmations and learning to ask yourself questions that force your non-conscious mind to remember times in the positive about whatever situation you're facing now. So, for example, if you are feeling like you have a hard time making friends and you're feeling lonely, instead of saying to yourself, I'm always lonely, I can never make friends, nobody likes me, whatever. Why don't you ask yourself, because when you say those things to yourself, your non-conscious is hearing you. Your body is hearing you. You are learning that this is true for me. It doesn't matter how many people could come up to you the next day and say hi or interact with you, at the gym or wherever you are. It won't make a difference because you've already decided that this is the meaning I'm placing on those thoughts. So instead of saying to yourself all of these negative statements, why don't you try asking yourself whatever situation you're facing, but in a form of a question in the positive. So for example, why do people always want to hang out with me? Why do people love being my friend? And your non-conscious is going to be forced to bring up all of the character traits and all of the things that make you such a trustworthy and attractive friend. When you are doing the fact interpretation meaning exercise that I was talking about in this video, and you find yourself getting stuck, ask yourself a question in the positive. Your non-conscious mind will give you examples of your past when this has been true, when you have done these things, when you have gotten the outcome that you wanted. So why is it that every time I set my mind to achieve a goal, I'm able to reach it? Your non-conscious mind is going to be able to tell you, because you're such a good planner, because you're so disciplined, because you have the right people around you who come alongside of you and help you achieve your goals. Whatever it is for you, your non-conscious mind is going to answer that question in the positive. You have to get into a place where it's normal for you to discipline your thoughts, where when you sense that this is what I'm thinking about, ask yourself, is that the only interpretation of what's happening to me? Is there another perspective? By the way, I'm saying that this is a fact. I am not saying that this is truth, right? Truth is absolute. There is a place where it doesn't even matter. All the other opinions, don't matter. What I'm saying is a fact happened. How are you interpreting that fact? However you interpret it will determine the meaning that you apply to it. And it will also determine how often you get that same fact and then therefore the same meaning reinforced throughout your life. So if ever you are facing a difficult situation, if there's something in your past that you seem to think about or ruminate about, even when you don't intend to, try applying a different meaning to the fact. What else, what other perspectives could be taken in this situation? And what events leading up to that fact could be analyzed to see where we could do something different, make a different choice, because you are always at a position of making a choice. Every second of every day, every nanosecond of every day, you are at the position of choosing something new or something that's the same. Some things should stay the same, right? We should continue to choose them over and over and over. And sometimes we should be choosing something different. But because we don't recognize the fact that we're at the place of choice all of the time, we never make something different. We don't choose something different. We don't even recognize the fact that, hey, I have 2 options. I have 3 options. I have a million options. So I hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about fact, interpretation, and meaning, why this is so important for you in terms of your own identity, as well as in terms of what you create with your future. And like I said, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel below and click on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.